a small package for your power plant, and that's always good when you're building an aircraft.
Flywheel energy storage systems, however, tend to lose power quickly. To navigate across space, its size would have to be enormous.
They're fine for use by power companies for load level. You put energy in when you don't need it, you get energy out when you need it. But they're sitting on the ground.
What's the matter right here? My hand will fall asleep.
It's not at all clear that this would be a problem.
Position for quite a while is the worst part about getting
We're
tattooed.
trying to describe something that kind of looked like this to them. It might not have actually been mercury.
Unfortunately.
Some other liquid metal.
The mercury vortex engine is perhaps a failure in the translation because the vortex is not a material quite suitable to jet engine.
The issue of how are these civilizations traveling faster than the speed of light is a fundamental question. It's a scientific application of things that have been studied for thousands of years, and they're within the Vedas, ancient Vedic teachings or other ancient teachings, and it is there.
But if the Manas existed, could this prove there was a worldwide transportation network thousands of years before Columbus? The answer might be found on a mountain.
You hear they found some
Mexico City.
bodies at Stonehenge?
Really?
Females.
Have connected the world like never before.
I think that they had a matriarchy type society. And there's all kinds of elaborate foundations underneath. The ground underneath there.
Cultural interconnection has transformed the globe. But is it new?
Well, like angels, you know, I guess for like, we're the only ones that put wings on angels. Is that angels never really had wings? And cherubs and all that.
Yeah, and cherubs are fucking evil motherfuckers.
And they're like, oh, that angel with wings. Like, no, actually, there was, clouds, not like flying and this and that. So you only put wings on just for the concept of them flying around.
But just like we have airports today
right there.
around the world.
My dad designed that.
In ancient times, with
There
the
you are.
Romans,
Show me really quick.
there would have been hangars for the craft, airports for them to land, and those airports would have been situated in strategic places around the world.
Yeah, I think aerial, weather, Air Force, Air Force, weather,
Could the complex set of lines covering Peru's Nazca Plain or the mysterious plateau above Mexico's Oaxaca Valley be evidence of runways for a worldwide air transportation system? One of the unusual archaeological sites in Mexico is a place called Monte Alba. That is also a mountain where the top of the mountain was completely cut off and level to make a very flat tabletop mountain. And there's a megalithic city there too. That's extremely old. This was probably some kind of Ramana airport.
The Manas could be kind of missing link between the single cultures in the world, because they had just a very short time to flow from one part of the world to the other.
Legends of air travel are also found in ancient Africa and the Middle East. According to the
That was on look at an angle.
a holy book of the
Can you tell?
Ethiopians, written
the light on?
sometime before the 2nd century AD,
Numbers countdown.
the Queen of Sheba was once given a gift of a flying carpet by King Solomon of Israel.
The Cabernatus is one of the most important texts you've never heard of.
Giorgio.
Cabernatus
It's kind of funny, you see,
Fucking hair really kills me.
when you see photos of him before, his hair was like normal, all of a sudden when he
are the Ethiopians.
trying to be recognized for that crazy
Solomon
hair.
described he had access to some type of a flying machine. And in that part of the world,
What'd they decide?
the term
They put
flying
John
carpet was always used very liberally. My question is, did they really mean actual flying carpets? Or was it another term with which to describe some type of flying machine?
Dun, dun, dun.
This was the original chariots of the gods that Eric Von Däniken talked about.
Good book.
Flying magic carpets of the Arabian Nights stories. There are traditions in the Middle East of King Solomon having his airship and flying to different places in the Middle East, certain mountains, which are known as the Mountains of Solomon. These may have been certain airports or landing areas for these Vimanas. Nicholas Rourke, famous Russian-American explorer who traveled all through Central Asia and Tibet.
What do you mean Russian American?
1920s.
Yeah, is that weird?
Claimed that Tibet
Either you're American or you're not.
King Solomon flying
You're Russian or you're not.
in his aircraft.
Can't be both.
The Keeper of
Well,
the
his mom's
Gods
American,
also
his dad's
describes
Russian,
how
so-
Solomon
Yeah, well,
used
America's
flying
full of
airships
nuts.
to make
And
maps
that's
of
just
the
the way it
world.
is. That means you're American.
What could
Yeah.
these be in relation to
Yeah,
other
it's like old girlfriends, if they're Japanese American or Filipino American, Cambodian American, like, well,
Some of these maps.
well, I'm American, but I'm Norwegian descent, you know?
But as it looked during the last ice
I was
age,
born here.
and this is really hard to explain. Everybody's heard of the Piri-Reis map, and they perhaps not heard of the Rogers-Phineas map or the Mercator maps that show Antarctica in great detail hundreds of years before Antarctica was even discovered. One of the most referenced
Blame that
stories
shit.
of ancient aircraft is found in a surprising place, the Bible. In the book of Ezekiel, the prophet describes a flying
Well,
chariot
lucky.
containing wheels within wheels and powered by angels. Although Bible historians suggest Ezekiel was speaking symbolically about the terrifying enemies facing Israel, could this be another example of an alien visitation and proof that prehistoric aircraft existed? In the story of Ezekiel's throne chariot, this flying vehicle that doesn't seem to have any means of propulsion, if we thought of the word angel as representing something like celestial energy, it sounds much more like a spacecraft then, because some of the angels are going back and forth. Well, that sounds like planes. That sounds like propulsion. Sounds all wheel-like. Well, those sound like flying saucers. Our ancestors weren't idiots. Ezekiel saw something that was so frightening to him that he fell to his knees.
Yeah.
Then, out of the glory of God, came this being in these bright clothes that looked like metal and told Ezekiel, all right, man, we brought you here. We want you to measure this monument, this building. And Ezekiel asks, well, why should I do this? And the being says, that's why we brought you here. And then you have...
What do you mean?
In the second part of the book of Ezekiel...
That's why you are here.
With measurement after measurement after measurement of this gigantic building, in which, by the way, the glory of the Lord landed.
I'll wake up.
In the early 1970s,
Yeah, because my ethics made me a Facebook by his own hair. Like Giorgio hair, Facebook.
was a spaceship. Joseph Blumenberg is your proverbial rocket scientist.
Yeah, I've met a lot of the people, all kinds of strangers. Like at work, I met somebody this weekend.
And from the
She was
mind
from down in Mexico.
engineer,
She was her girlfriend, was like 15, 16 years old. The lady's like 61 now, and we're talking about Bigfoot, this and that. She goes, oh yeah, like chupacabras. She goes, oh yeah, we see some chupacabras. I go, do you see them? You know, I'm like, no, no, me and my girlfriend, we seen them. I'm like, oh shit, it's okay. So I told her I'll do a little interview on a recorded video talking about it.
It was indeed a type
The
of spacecraft.
Border Patrol recently, in the last couple of years, has gotten a video of one of those weird hairless dogs that run around, man.
the one running down the road, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see it looking back in the camera.
It's got like a
Horse's face.
it's really long, kind of like a spud dog or whatever those terriers
Spud McKenzie?
are. Yeah.
Ezekiel's spaceship fit exactly
Yeah, his lady, she's a really nice lady. This is my helper at work.
recreated.
So,
So what we have here is a proof by indication.
I'm a people person, like most people are like, next, kind of thing.
And a structural
So,
engineer
because I know a bunch of everything.
know of each other's work.
People overlook old people.
And
They got
both
some great
pieces
stories.
fit together like a
Oh, this in
puzzle.
general, some
In any
people
court
like
of
just
law,
feel like, like next, New York.
hold up.
I mean, always like
I think that
intrigued in all
scientists
forms
feel
and
uncomfortable
knowledgeable
with the
and
notion of the lost civilization, precisely because
so
the
they're
evidence
doing,
for it is so
small talk and,
ambiguous. It's not so in your face that it's
oh yeah, she's wearing a dragonfly coat, and I'll tell her dragonflies are good luck. So the dragonfly jacket like made in China, like the man she had, in like a smoking type coat.
The
I told her I was a little kid, I had a couple of them land on me. And I don't remember if I was one of my scarlet fever days when I was died from it twice. I heard it was good luck for them land on you.
In the Old Testament,
So that's how that little
God
story
was
started.
misunderstood.
Then later on, when we go to Chupacabra, her girlfriend seen him. I'm
Our ancestors
like, really? I guess her girlfriend's still down in Mexico.
divine
I said, well, call her and see if she remembers stuff. And like where, when, what time of year,
of misunderstood
what
technology.
area, you know.
And that is the underlying thread that applies to all of the ancient astronaut theory.
Yeah, you know, I think I've seen some video of some lady that caught one.
Yeah, I think this shows some lady who had one. Like, I had a, I have a DVD I brought back in the library called Finding Bigfoot. It's on the Animal Planet channel.
Yeah, I've watched
The
it.
Bobo guy.
Yeah.
And so, well, that's like the newest one out, and they showed some lady with like photos and stuff. And then again, it's like, they're like, oh, it's some dog, some coyote, mangy, type hair or whatever.
Mange.
Yeah. Oh, it's really bad. It's not like, oh.
These man-made creatures form their creators and perform the work of
But for that lady, she'd be like, you
using
know,
modern
if she was a church, so she'll tell me like, no, she's not lying. Like I told her,
builders.
and we started talking all these little stories, and I'll tell her all the hair in my arms were sticking out, and I'll be goosebumps.
Thousands of years
I told her, yeah, this is my sixth sense of me telling, let me know that people are telling the truth. And she was like, whoa, I've never seen that before. I go, it's pretty warm in here too, huh? He goes, yeah. And I was wearing a short sleeve shirt. We were talking, about something else, all the hair was like, whoop. I go, look, oh my God, I've never seen that before. She goes, that's really real, huh? Like, oh. So that lets me know when people they want to talk or actually tell me something legit.
These massive stone blocks with
Comes in handy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
copper wire
Well, it's usually only for like the supernatural phenomenon type stuff.
could be lifted and transported
Not just, you know,
without a pulley
people
system or
talking flies or
it's
it's mostly based upon
advanced
non-explained, I guess.
that has since been lost to science.
So I was telling her there's been a bunch of times I've talked to people about that, where actually all of a sudden, I told her it's like jumping into like a frozen ice pond. And your body, that's what it feels like to me. Also like a zap. And my whole body goes like chills. I was like, really? Yeah, it's like almost like a zap. And then when you get that, the needle hits your arm, you get that
Yeah, that was a jolt.
yeah, it's like that, but like beyond freezing. It's like it's inside out kind of deal. Just inside my body and comes out my skin. After you get the goosebumps and the cold chills. You know, because all the hair back my neck stands up, mine's out, but my body turns like freezing cold.
For them to want to build out of granite blocks the size of a semi-truck, it's like,
How?
okay, let's do something, but let's do it as difficult as we could possibly do it. The reason why I am convinced that
And it's so perfect too. You know, flawless.
It was weird. They found the oldest civilization
today
in Africa, and they found this area that
similar things.
had petroglyphs, and it showed people using cones to move objects, and they've actually found some cone relics in that area or whatever. But I believe it's some kind of rock that, with sound, can actually manipulate and levitate objects.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like the frequency.
Yeah, because sound actually is a different wavelength of light that we can't perceive with our eyes, but we can perceive with other instruments like our ears.
Or in our body.
Yeah, or
Shock waves and stuff.
right.
And that's why when the pyramids have those tunnels set where the acoustics are just the right angle and the depth and the tones, the pitches.
I remember seeing a documentary or something where they said that they figured that it was some kind of almost an A note, but at the right like volume and
Right decibels.
that would actually cut stone very precisely like a laser.
It's like an opera singer breaking crystal glasses.
Yep. But rather than a shatter pattern, it would literally cut like a laser if pointed in the right direction.
Yep.
We got those old stones too. I don't know where those were found in Egypt, probably.
Yeah.
That were
Well, you're
granite. They were just showing up. The
Yeah.
laser edge, you know.
He just had a square. You know, like, how could this happen back in 2,000 years ago? You know, I mean.
There's nothing new on this planet. Everything's been done before.
And
It's just
forgotten about.
and forgotten about. We have an incredible ability to forget.
Oh, here it is. There's one of them.
When I first saw it, I just didn't know what to make of it. And it was only after puzzling over it for
Yeah.
days.
Like a piece of paper won't fit under it.
Up at 3 o'clock in the morning, scratching my head and thinking, well, how did they make this cut? And finally to realize that the only way that they could have actually cut that thing was with a saw that was 35 feet in diameter.
Yeah, they show it here.
The idea that ancient Egyptians used giant saws provoked much resistance from mainstream archaeologists. Dunn, however, was convinced.
That's what the trenches are for.
I look for them everywhere I go. And I could be accused of, well, what's the something you're probably fine because you're looking at it through
Your version.
accepted, I agree. But the question is, why is it there? Clearly, to me, that is a machine gun. But there were no machines back then. So, what do? I just go looking for more machine guns. And they're all over
Look at the
the
machine
place.
gun. Hello.
You find them on statues and find them particularly in the Luxor Museum.
Yeah, look at some of the hieroglyphics. How can they route it out? You know?
Where it beats the
I mean,
bench.
Like auger down.
yeah, it's all pristine and flawless. You know, it's like,
And therefore, it must have been a tool.
explain that one. You know, like water,
Artificial.
you know, type stuff.
Dunn also believed
Kind of
that the
boring
large
to read.
depressions in the ground at Giza
Like a Dremel
were not
type of
openings, as is claimed by mainstream archaeologists, but were actually used to hold the 35-foot saws. I speculate that they were actually saw pits. The saws were mounted in these pits, and that they ran the blocks through the saws before they put them in the great curve. Another mystery involves how megastones were lifted up and placed into a precise position.
This is what we're talking about here. Waves.
That to build big buildings, you need to build big instruments which help build these big buildings. And that is something which archaeology
There's a guy that just passed away where he actually built a structure. They said that he used the old Egyptian technique of sound.
Each weighs an estimated 1,000 tons, or 2
Isn't that done in
million
Florida?
pounds.
Yeah, it was the United States somewhere. The guy's like 100-pound old man.
Yeah, he built it with coral blocks, right?
Or, yeah, I'm not sure what kind, but they're like thousands of pounds.
Yeah.
How can this old man do it? Like, well, he did like, no, whatever. You know. He was like, well, he didn't tell nobody how he did it. He did it all behind his hidden walls or hidden part of his house. And he told me, well, I use all the Egyptian ways. You know. and he was told how to do it, you know,
Research.
I think he claimed to have talked to Jeromy or something.
Really?
That's what I'm saying. He was told, if you're like, well, who told you? Like, well, you would understand. Our mind, it's way before our time, after our time.
Where they had one of the largest excavators they could rent. They had trouble loading it into the truck. It's well in excess of 5 tons, 10,000 pounds. Small in megalithic terms, but basically what we can handle with modern machinery.
Yeah. The key word, modern.
We're supposed to accept that the people of independence did not have the wheel, did not have the pulley, did not have iron, because they had nothing.
Yeah.
With brutals, manpower, and pieces of string. The context does not fit the evidence. I've done pulling operations in Upper Egypt, thousands of people involved in the various stages of the project.
That's more like that, the one show, Flying Bigfoot, that one lady on it, the skeptic.
That way. Hundreds
Well, I don't believe it, all this happened. Did it happen? Well, I still don't think. It's like right there.
But you're going to have to use
Yeah, I'll kick it away.
the edges.
Okay, you're skeptic. No matter what's going to be, it's going to be something that's not going to be.
Did not possess modern
Right in front of the
mechanical
fucking
equipment.
face.
Yeah.
How did they move and lift megaton stones?
It's just when I was kidding. You gotta go, but no, it was Southwalk. It was this, it was that. You know, here's evidence, here's footprints. Well, it could be a bear walking over it twice, the same spot, same area. So a bear walking the same footstep twice?
Bear has very distinct claws and shit, you know. It's not even human
No toes.
looking at all.
There exists one very
Oh, maybe they should be like, maybe
of how
a deer stepping around at a certain angle.
from the quarry
Like the guy said, you're gonna find the answer you want, regardless.
have the capability of putting some type of a white substance, paper-like substance, onto the stones, and they wrote on it, and then they basically gave the stone block a push
Like in gold,
by
to do
6
that.
feet, as if by magic. Now, did that thing really move by magic? No. Some technology was used.
I think the sun is called Ra.
Really moved.
What is it?
Around the stone like that.
Sun
They
god.
would have had to have been levitated, somehow made weightless, and then just moved through the air by some kind of device. Perhaps even a handheld kind of device, like some
Remote.
beam weapon.
There.
There they are. Well, actually, no.
You know, like, what do
They
you call
were
it?
reversed. They were like ice cream cones.
Large
Yeah,
blocks
you know, what do they call those?
history.
Finding water?
Surrounds the techniques of their
Two names
stonemasons.
for it.
How did prehistoric
There's a name
civilizations cut such
Divining.
Oh, divide rods.
in
Yes.
solid granite?
Yeah, like
These are
these.
yeah, those are the ones that are laser etched.
Yeah, go figure, huh?
They'd actually to cut them nowadays have to actually use diamond saws.
Palm Springs, California.
Diamond blades, try to.
Master stonemason and sculptor Roger Hopkins uses a variety of advanced tools to cut and shape hard stones. Powered implements,
Water.
such as diamond-tipped wires and polishers, enable him to fashion works of art out of huge granite blocks obtained from nearby quarries. Even with these high-tech tools, Hopkins could not replicate what ancient civilizations accomplished thousands of years ago. But these advanced engineering methods need a smoking gun that proves humans had help from alien beings.
The precision on some of the work that I've seen is just incredible. It's possible to do by hand, but it takes an incredible amount of time. Plus, you have to have years of experience to be able to pull it off.
In my opinion, the most tangible pieces of evidence that we have regarding possible extraterrestrial technology is when we look
Would you mind doing me a favor? Grab that camera and make some shoots. This angle. Like right there.
In some instances,
You can zoom in and I'll still go. I should check it away. It's already recording.
Oh, it's recording. Do you want me just to hit?
Up, down.
Is a large temple complex located on a high plateau in Bolivia. Mainstream archaeologists date the site from approximately 200 BC.
Not here. Wait on my camera.
Written language, Motoroido.
She's a human GoPro.
They built one of the world's most complex structures.
See, I was asking about it. I guess right now they're at GoPro 4, 5, like silver, I think it's called. Yeah, I'm not worried about what size memory card you have in it or whatever, you know. They've been the first one I've seen, like, well, they're awesome. And these flip videos is really killer clarity too. I love about them.
Yeah, I think the newer versions are they're waterproof. They come waterproof.
Yep.
Yeah, the old ones you had to buy a case for.
Yeah. And this flip video here is HD. As my other ones I have are like just regular versions of it. And the new GoPros, I think it goes up to like 200 feet or something.
Some of these blocks are over 40 to 50 tons each. What can you tell us about this footage? They have their stone cutting abilities, pretty well fine-tuned for 5,000 years old. I mean, almost unbelievable. But these cutting planes that they have on here are very impressive. And some of the size cuts.
Get some marbles.
Bevel in that?
Interior cuts. Very hard.
So I used to do technical drawing, mapping stuff back in high school.
Yeah.
And even then we had all this stuff to draw like that. And it's like, whoa.
Let's talk a little bit about inside boxes. I'm afraid you're going to pull something like this up. That is a hell of a piece of work. I mean,
Wow.
if we were to do something like that today, we'd use what they have these computer-driven CNC machines, which are
They got a friend of mine does that.
timing tips, and you have a
I got a hold of a guy that teaches that up at community college. He did my inserts for the ceiling over there.
You're telling me that.
Though you can tell that obviously this piece broke off. Nowhere in here do you see any imperfection. It's like, and by the way, when you're there, if you go with your finger over these edges and put a little pressure on your fingertips, you can cut yourself. This is how sharp the edges are. But where could the ancient people have developed such technology? Is it really possible that extraterrestrial visitors provided different construction methods and tools? When I saw these blocks, I didn't really think that they were cut. The first thing really that I thought of was this appears very similar to Frank Lloyd Wright's textile block system construction.
You can pause it if you want.
California houses.
You can pause it if you want. Grab those. Get him when he's later on.
Now what he did was
Phase.
he took concrete